Story time with Fergie and friends.
I found a little oakling that had fallen in the wind onto the ground, and I picked it up because I like it. I think it's really wonderful, and I want to going to plant it and see if I can plant it and make a lovely, fantastic little oak tree from my oak planting. You could try that too if you find things like that, couldn't you? Hello, it's story time, Fergie and friends, and mums and dads, aunts and uncles, girls and boys. Yippee! Here we go again. I'm so excited to see you, and it's very, very good news because today, I'm going to talk to you about oak trees. Because have you heard some creakings? Have you heard some sort of smashings? Because with the weather and the rain, there's lots of oak trees that are losing their limbs, their branches, and they're falling down, and you hear like a thunder crash. Anyway, so I want to talk to you because I don't like when people cut down oak trees, because oak trees are so special. And I came from a house on the farm in Dummer near Basingstoke, Hampshire, and my father brought me up to look at all these beautiful oak trees and to look up high into the sky of the oak trees and to say hello to the oak trees. I don't walk past the oak tree because it's so special, and it's been there a lot longer than you and I and everybody else that we know. It's been there many, 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 many years. So now I'm going to read a story to you about the enchanted oak tree. And some of you may have already heard it, but I'm going to read it again because do you know that somewhere near Dummer there's a place called Oak Dean, because they have 67 beautiful oaks and beech trees and loads of beautiful, beautiful trees. Oak trees, and somebody wants to come along and cut them all down. Huh? For what? Oh, storage units. Well, could they please try and find somewhere else and not cut down these beautiful, beautiful oak trees? So, if any of you out there are listening, please don't cut down the oak trees. Please don't. That's why I wrote this book about the enchanted oak trees. It's really important. Okay, so here we go. Reading goggles on. Open the antique gate and enter a secret garden, where a world of enchantment and wonder awaits. Children will delight in this charming tale about the old oak tree that is not what it seems, as for frolicking fairies make their home among its sheltering branches. Can the butterfly catchers help to return calm and harmony to the secret garden and all the creatures who dwell in it? Well, they come to see the old oak tree for what it truly is, the heart of this very special place. Are you ready? Are you steady? Thank you, Veronica Rook. You are amazing. You did beautiful illustrations. Isn't this exciting? Thank you to my father for teaching me to look up and see the magic of an old oak tree, and to my girls for allowing me to stay childlike and to still believe in fairies and joy bubbles. Well, that's me, isn't it? Yeah. The butterfly catchers passed by the old oak tree, and all they saw was an ordinary tree. Why do they walk by me? He thought. They didn't know it was an enchanted tree that had stood there for longer than anyone could remember. It was also home to the frolicking fairies who flew in and out of the secret garden through the antique, rusty, creaky gate with a zingy, zing, zoom. Zingy, zing, zoom. Look, don't walk by the old oak tree. Poor old oak tree. Why do they walk by me? One day the fairies came in from a fly past the pastures and the apple orchard in an urgent zoom, zoom, zing. No, that's so totally different. Sylvia Swan and Abigail Goose looked up. This was a different sound from every day. Something was definitely wrong. Yes, their feathers twitched. Dear Sylvia, Abigail. A lamb is in trouble, said the fairies. But how could they find her? There was someone who would know. Yes, they sang to their friend, Mr. Oak Tree, Mr. Oak Tree, Mr. Tall Tree, Mr. Tall Tree, can you see where we have to be? We can wander free, and as you are a tree, you can see you are a tall oak tree. The old wise tree swayed in the wind with happiness. The fairy zoomed up to its highest leaf. In the distance they heard a strange noise. Oh! It was Woofers the dog. He sounded upset. What could be wrong? Lily the lamb was in trouble. She had heard amazing things about the secret garden and had become trapped while trying to get in. Woofers was desperate to free his friend, but the fairies were too small and couldn't help her. Now what? Ba, 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 ba. Look over there, said one fairy. We'll ask the butterfly catchers for help. And in a blur of wings and quick as a flash, zingy, zing, zoom, the fairies flew over to them. Can you please help us? Can you please help us? Crunch, chomp, chomp, crunch, crunch, crunch. But the butterfly catchers couldn't hear them. They were making far too much noise eating those big, sweet, juicy, delicious apples. Now what could the fairies do? Bonbon, the most beautiful butterfly in the secret garden, lived high in the tree. Of course it was called Bonbon the butterfly. The fairies asked, can you help? Please, please help us. Bonbon fluttered down silently and gently and landed right next to the butterfly catchers. It worked. Tee-hee, follow me, come on, or I'll be gone, she teased. And with a swish of her wings, she took off. Oh, yes, yes, come on. And flew right back to Lily. They all formed a line and tugged and pulled and pulled and tugged, but Lily was stuck tight. But they couldn't give up, so gave one last big heave. Heave, everyone cheered as they all tumbled and rolled and landed in a pile. Woo, hurrah and whoopee, Lily was free. Woofus and Lily happily scampered back home to Fergie's farm. Next time you visit, use the eeky creaky gate, called Lily's new fairy friend. The very hungry fairy zingy zing zoomed back home just in time for tea. I wonder what's for tea. Dandelion jelly and sprinkles on ice gems. Their favourite yum snacks for a very buzzy day. Eeky, creaky, creaky. It was getting late to thank the butterfly catchers for their help. Bonbon led them back through the eeky, creaky, rusty gate to show them something special. At last they saw him. The handsome enchanted oak tree shone in all his glory. Thank you, dear tree, they said. You are not just a place where the fairies take their tea. You are the secret garden's heart for all to see. Yes, this was the happiest he had felt in over 500 years. See, I'm sure I told you at the beginning he was a lot older than you and I. Even me, and that's saying something. He bowed his old branches and whispered, good night. Calm and harmony had returned to the secret garden. The enchanted tree slept. The butterflies hid. The eeky, creaky, rusty gate was silent. Sylvia and Abigail smoothed their feathers. And the fairies? Shh, you never know where they go. They could be near but rarely appear. Shh. Listen close, you may be able to hear the zingy zing zoom as the fairies go to and fro. Well, I must admit I rather enjoyed my book. Thank you very much for listening. Come on, save those oak trees.
With Fergie and friends, with Fergie and friends.